Okay, folks, this is getting old. More flooding. So there are a couple of things going on, and one is last winter and this winter, especially this winter, instead of getting snow, the storms come in, we get snow at the front end and then heavy rain at the back end. And that's causing flooding. So something's changing. And I don't know if it's permanent or not, but I'm really tired of all this flooding. So the main thing is the crazy winter weather with the heavy rain. So that's one issue. So you can see the yard's all flooded here. And we're going to follow this. Now I've done videos, I think a couple of videos on what I was doing over there to prevent flooding. I built a little berm there. I talked about ditch work that I have to do. We'll get to that in a minute. So look at this. Water running here, and that's a couple of issues right there. So a prior owner ran some drainage lines down through here, and it comes, there's a stone wall right there. You can see part of the stone wall. They ran the pipe out through the wall there, through the opening, and then down that way. I fixed the far end there because it just dead-ended, and I extended it down a little further. So I took care of that, but there's also a spot here where it's always bubbling up lately. You can see it right there. So there's a hole in the pipe. So this summer, what I'm going to do as part of my drainage work and part of my ditch work is I'm going to dig this all up and put another drain pipe in there, do something better. So that's one issue. And then the other issue, we'll go up here. You can see all the water here. This stuff is no fun to trudge through. It's all slushy. So I've got about a foot of snow here. It's all slush. Almost took a dump there. So here's more water running. We'll get to this in a minute. So you can see the water running here. And this water is coming from this ditch, coming up over that berm that I built. And look at all that water. And this is from the second major issue. I mentioned earlier there were two issues going on. So up there, my property ends right at the top of that hill up there. My property line's up there, and just beyond that, the next parcel up is a 40-acre parcel. And I chased after that parcel for 20 years trying to buy it. Was never able to for one reason or another. Somebody bought it about a year ago, and they cleared an area up there because they're going to build a house. Actually, they're going to build further back, but they cleared this area. So at first they were going to build there. Ever since that was cleared, I've been having major flooding issues here. I don't see any water running down the hill, but that's got to be where it's coming from. Or maybe it's just groundwater. But it's been worse ever since they cleared that land. So I've got to extend this ditch. It ends up here somewhere. I've got to extend that ditch out to my brook out back to take care of this issue. All right, so this summer I'm going to extend that ditch and hope that helps. And then I'm going to build the berm that I built here under the snow. I'm going to build this up higher. And then right in here, with all that ditch work or drainage work I do, I think what I might do is put in a little culvert here somewhere. Let the water drain into that, and then run it down out through that wall and down the street. And this is really old. So I've been, the last few weeks, we've had, I don't know, probably like 4 storms like this, where the storm comes in, we get snow at the front end, and then rain at the back end. All the snow turns to slush. Heavy rain floods everything out. So all I've been doing is every few days moving snow away from that barn and getting rid of ice so that the barn doesn't flood. Now, I've got a little bit of flooding going on in the barn right now, but the work I did, well, for this flood, I worked on it last night, pulling snow and ice away from the barn. That seemed to have helped quite a bit. There's a little bit of flooding in the barn, but nothing major. But I'm hoping this doesn't get any worse, because if this gets worse, it could rise up over the footer for the barn and flood the barn that way. Right now, the flooding I'm getting is from the front door and the back door. It's minimal because I've done a lot of work there to keep the water from flowing into the barn. I also have to regrade in here. You can see the low spot there. Now, this used to be nice and level, but all of the soil got compacted down during the restoration of that barn. Had a lot of heavy equipment going through here. Everything from my tractor, which isn't too heavy, but the tractor going back and forth, and then the concrete truck coming in a couple of times to pour the footers and the slab. So I'm going to have to regrade this and bring it up a little bit, and then hopefully that'll direct the water out and down that way. Well, it's the next day. My camera died. I forgot to charge it. So my camera died yesterday. So it's the next day. This is now Sunday afternoon. The first clips were on Saturday. I found the problem. Why I'm getting flooded out all through here. So I followed I was looking around to see where the water might be coming from, and you can see right there, there's water coming down the hill. You can see it right there. So I followed it all the way up the hill, and as I mentioned, there was an owner. It's actually 2 owners ago now. Somebody bought that property and they were going to build. So they did a big clearing up there. And for some reason, they dug this huge ditch. That's got to be 4 or 5 feet deep. Big ditch. And then they've got the road coming in and they got a big culvert there. So there's a huge amount of water, even now, coming down through that ditch. And the woods, the ditch goes through the woods. I don't know what they're trying to do, but they're diverting all the water into this ditch through the culvert and down my hill. It's just running down here and flooding me out. So we're gonna have to find a solution to that. So what I'm gonna do on my part is extend this ditch all the way out to the brook. So I'm gonna have to get in as far as I can with my tractor here. As I mentioned, I think in this video, I cleared out some trees so I can get in down there with my tractor, but I might have to get in here somehow and clear or dig down deeper in here, because all the water's standing down at that end. So I'm going to have to make this deeper here. So I think I'm going to have to clean out a lot of these little trees here and get in here with the tractor. So that ditch ends right around here somewhere, and you can see that there's really no water down at this end. And then I'm I'm going to run the ditch. It ends right about here at this tree. I'll have to clear all these out and extend that ditch all the way down. So that's my primary goal next summer. I've got to get in here and take care of this. All right, so here's the brook running under my bridge. It was flowing pretty good. Yesterday. Now, the owners up there, they did remove an illegal bridge that was across the brook further up on their property. That property had been logged probably 10 years ago now, and the logger put in an illegal bridge, temporary bridge. It was supposed to be temporary. Put in a temporary bridge for logging, and that bridge was just too low, and it was causing dam issues with the brook, and it had actually silted in on the upstream side of the bridge. So whenever there was heavy water, it washed up over their brook and came down across my property. I'll show you where. So going right in there, that's my stump dump, and I'll bring you back. All right. Well, that's enough of my complaining for the day. So sometime in the next 4 or 5 months, maybe 6 months, I'll be putting out a video doing all my ditch work right there in the trees along the tree line, bringing that ditch all the way down there. All right, folks. Hey, thanks for listening to me gripe. We'll get it fixed. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you soon.